So, ladies and gentlemen, now welcome to our video of the Dashamsha chart with Jupiter. Okay, I know you guys have been waiting for it for quite a long time, but hey, I gave you something interesting, so relax. All right, you guys learned something here besides just these, tidbit placements. So, yes, today we're going to finally do Jupiter in the 11th house of your Dashamsha chart. The D11 chart, which is or D10 chart, not D11. Not yet, but D10 chart of your obligation to society, your career, how you manifest yourself, okay, into the world. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what your planetary placements are in your entire horoscope, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological reporting through my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where yesterday I put a video on dashas, how the matching of the dashas happen. So when you look at a chart, within 2 seconds, you should know what things will be manifesting in these people's lives. Okay. And then, of course, I want to make part B. Now, let's talk about Jupiter in the 11th house. So here's the thing. I do, as you know, like readings every day because it keeps me stimulated. It keeps me, aware of planets and combinations because every day it's some new combination. Every day. Although there have been certain times when I've actually gotten exact same combinations, people born in the same date, same year, and 3-4 hours apart in a different country. Yes, it has happened. It actually has happened just this year. Now, you got to understand, because I do so many readings, I see 11th house Jupiter a lot of times. Okay, it's a lot of times I see 11th house Jupiter, and 11th house is the fulfillment of desires. Achievements in your career, desires of the career, fame, right? It's going from higher to one status to the higher status. So that is the 11th house of Dashamsha. And it represents your support at work, not in life, support in your professional workspace. But here's the thing. You might have Jupiter in the 11th house right now. And yet you will probably comment with what I will say is that I'm actually struggling in my career and I have an average salary. It's nothing what you're saying. Well, number one, the only time this Jupiter is going to give results is obviously in its dasha, number one. Number two, if Jupiter becomes conjunct with any planet, whether it's Rahu, Ketu, Saturn, you will see in the Antra Dasha of that planet that is conjunct with Jupiter, that's when you will really see the significant events happening related to your achievements. But here's another problem. What if Jupiter is completely weak in the birth chart? So if it's completely like this, down, and yet you have this high Jupiter here in the Dashamsha, well, it can only rely on this particular Jupiter and its Navamsha position to show any kind of a strength there. But Jupiter shows one gets support of co-workers, colleagues, but also one gets great subordinates underneath them. One gets great partners in their workspace, in their business. This is the time of even high political achievements. This is the time of especially like this is a time where you connect with diplomats, and especially I've seen with Rahu. If Rahu or 12th lord is with Jupiter in Jupiter Dasha during this at one point in your time, you're gonna interact with diplomats of other countries, even if it's a private work. You don't have to be working in government. Jupiter overall gives a great result with this. And especially you will see, because Jupiter is in the 11th house, and let's say if your Jupiter is strong, that means you will have children, right? So when you have children, okay, you will see this Jupiter will try to give you some kind of a fulfillment in your career. So what we're doing is we're applying the birth chart significator and its events in the Dashamsha. So birth of children will actually activate this Jupiter. I didn't say it's going to suddenly fulfill some desires or do something, it's going to activate this Jupiter. Now, how Jupiter is in the 11th, it'll show. You could have a conflict with a manager as soon as your child is born. We have to see. Again, you have to synthesize the entire chart to actually come up with the result. But what I'm just saying here is that when you do see Jupiter in the 11th, you should, first of all, think of it as a benefic position, a position of a giver. Jupiter here is trying to give, and it's also going to protect. Is going to give or is going to protect this individual. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Jupiter in the 11th house of your Dashamsha chart. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss this type of videos. And you want to know where your Jupiter is placed, all your astrological details, for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. And I'm going to be putting my part B video tomorrow. Bye-bye.